everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Chris.
I'm Barbara.
And I'm Gus. Hello, welcome, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm doing.
It's Chris!
Yay! Wow. Wow.
We finally have a good Chris on the show.
Ooh, get dunked on, other Chris. We don't say his last name here.
No, people know who he is.
Yeah.
He's a weird guy. Every time I've known that Chris for over a decade now,
Chris.
and I think every time I see him, he still surprises me with some new thing I didn't know or some weird Chris attribute. It's like, oh.
At what point are you going to be like 15 years in and you're just going to be like, I've tried long enough. It's not going to work. You're just too weird.
I mean, you've known him for... No, you haven't known him for 15 years.
I've known
13?
him for...
12?
2009?
When did we... 2010 or 20... Probably 10 or 11 years at this point.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of time to know someone and still be surprised about things. So be real.
Yeah, it's... But, I mean...
He has a lot of secrets.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's an interesting
That's
guy.
true. I mean, every time I see him, and I've only known him for like 3 or 4 years, I too am very surprised.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure if they're like good surprises or bad surprises.
It's a grab bag. You take the good with the bad.
Yeah, it's just surprises.
Yeah.
I don't think we qualify them as good or bad these days.
I do love him though. He's a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, speaking of good things, I had
Other than Chris.
a really positive interaction. I've changed. I've done a complete 180 on something. I have a new direction in life.
What is this?
I am a big Possum fan.
Oh,
Wow, I was not
that
expecting
Possums.
backyard terror.
Yeah.
Are they... Let's try to figure out why. Let's try to dissect this before Gus could explain. Why would Gus all of a sudden like possums?
He just watched the Goofy movie and just relived that whole scene with the possums on stage.
Are they possums?
They are possums.
Are they possums or opossums?
All right.
Oh no! Oh no! Is there a difference?
We need to know.
Oh no!
Possums and opossums. We had a big argument today if they were different animals.
Oh, don't do that to me.
We think I didn't look this up. That one is smaller than the other.
But isn't an opossum just pronounced possum?
That's what I thought.
Or do you pronounce the O?
I think you say opossum.
Opossum?
Oh, possum.
Maybe they're just like expressing their like disdain, like possum.
But my guess would be is that you had animals that were terrorizing your backyard or doing something to your property, and possums came and chased them away or ate them.
Interesting.
That'd be my theory.
Yeah, I'm imagining some sort of like T-Rex saving the day from the velociraptors. A possum came in and ate a tarantula for you.
Oh,
Ooh.
wow, that's a good guess. You know what? I'm gonna say you just got really close to one, and it was just like, "Hey, Gus, pet me."
Really cool. Yeah.
This is I'm super. Just like, hang out. Let's hang out.
Could be his new pet.
I ran into a cool possum.
Yeah.
How should I tell? Okay, I'm not going to get to it yet. I'll reveal the answer here in a bit. I got this little background first. So I was out of town for a couple of days, and on one of my security cameras, I could see that a bird had flown into my house and died and fallen into my yard.
Happens.
And I was like, fuck.
How did it fly into your house?
Birds are stupid.
He's got
they're,
really
they're fucking
clean
dumb as
windows.
shit.
I mean, I would think it'd be pretty smart to
To
get
be
into
fair,
your house.
they were fine without us, and then humans invented glass.
What about a tree? Would a bird fly into a fucking tree? What about a
It
tree
can see a
house?
tree.
I can't see a house. A house is bigger than a tree.
Well,
clear.
Maybe it was the window. Yeah, like a.
It was the window.
Okay.
Aw. There goes that.
Okay.
So this fucking bird is dead in my yard, and I could see on the security camera. I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna be home for a couple days. By the time I get
thought
back,
that it was in your house.
no. It like hit the window, fell into the yard.
Wait, what?
I thought he said that it flew into his house. Like
No,
Inside.
it's like in your living room.
It hit the house.
It's like watching your Netflix and like just chilling.
It ate all my food.
And it like ate too much food and died.
Yeah.
So I see it in my yard. I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna be home for a few days. By the time I get there, it's gonna be like filled with ants and maggots. It's just gonna be this disgusting thing I'm gonna have to pick up and clean. And then like that night, my security camera went off and I looked at it, and this fox came into my backyard. And I was like, oh shit, the fox is gonna eat the bird. It's gonna take it away and I'm gonna be safe. That fucking fox made a beeline right to the bird's dead body, smelled it, and turned its little fucking snooty nose up and walked away. I was like, you fucking piece of shit, fox.
Not fresh enough.
Not fresh enough. The next day at night, or the next night, camera goes off again. I check it. There's a possum walking around my backyard, And again, it walks in a straight line straight up to the bird, sniffs it like twice, and then just picks up the body and like walks off with it. But it doesn't walk the whole, like it walks just a little down my yard, like to the other corner, and then just begins devouring this bird, just like ripping it apart. And I was like, oh shit. It made an even worse mess for me to clean up. But I came home, it ate everything.
Feathers and all?
I mean, there was like 2 little feathers left on the ground. I was like, I couldn't tell that a possum just devoured an entire bird right here. Like there was like the bones, nothing was left. It ate everything. I was like,
I guess if it'd been dead a while, there's not a lot of liquid blood to come out anymore.
Liquid blood.
It's all like goo in it after a while.
but I was like, man, that possum, like it wasn't like an awful thing I had to do, but it was something I was not looking forward to. Possum just showed up and ate it. It's like, imagine you have a problem. He's like, fuck it, I'll just eat it. Like, what if you could eat the problems in your life?
Yeah, kids, strive to have possum standards, not fox standards. All right, don't turn your nose.
Foxes have had it too good for too long.
Exactly. Trying to be picky.
Oh yeah,
But
get out of here, fox.
Is that something that happens to blood when people die? Does it like
coagulate?
Yeah, like get goopy?
Yeah.
Does it ever?
Like if you cut. If you like decapitated a guy that died 5 days ago,
Yeah, it's not gonna.
it wouldn't be that drippy. The blood stopped moving 5 days ago.
Oh, my stomach just turned thinking about that.
I know. I just ate a cup of noodles and it's amalgamating in my stomach.
It's coagulating, much like stale blood.
Blood gulch.
Oh,
But when I came back from out of town, I had to fly back to Austin. This is the flight story. You know, nature's healing. The world's coming back together. I'm talking about flying.
Was there any construction at the airport?
There was construction at the airport. But I had the weirdest interaction with a TSA screener I've ever had in my life. You know, normally you go to the airport and they're like, they want to see your ID, they want to see your boarding pass, and they scan it all and they let you through. And I walked up and I had my boarding pass on my phone and I gave the guy my ID, or I should say, I gave the screener my ID. And the screener says, I don't need your boarding pass. The government knows everything about you. And I was like, okay.
It's a weird way to phrase that.
I was like, that's fine. So he like scans my boarding pass. He goes, yep, see, I've got all your info right here on my screen. I was like, okay. Then he turns the screen to me like, look, it's all right here. That's all your info. The government knows everything about you. Take a look. I was like, can I go? Like, is that fuck?
I bet you that guy watches the RT podcast and was doing it just so you would tell the story.
I don't know. I'm so confused. And it wasn't anything crazy. Like, it was like a picture of my ID and my flight info. Like, it wasn't like my whole.
Look, I can airdrop this to my phone too. Look, now I have all your information on my phone. I'm going to call you.
I'm the government. Yeah.
He almost sounds surprised and he's excited. Like he's blown away by it.
Yeah, I was like, was it his first day? It was just such a weird encounter. Normally it's like, I don't remember those interactions at all, but he was just like, oh yeah, the government knows.
He did that so you would never ask that question again. He's just like, this is how I get people. I tell them more than they need to know so that they stop questioning us.
oh my God.
Yeah.
The next time I go through TSA, I'm just gonna be like, does the government know?
Can you show me? What does the government
Show
know?
me.
Show me.
What do they know?
But yeah, whatever. It wasn't like, it was just a weird interaction after all these years of flying. It was like knowing Krista Maris. Still learn something new.
That's always a surprise.
surprise.
You're talking about the airport. You know, I know that many moons ago you probably talked about it a bunch, right? The airport and construction and everything. I say it's really paid off. I love the Austin airport.
Yeah.
I freaking love it. I would go there like, I have like TSA pre-check, and so you just like roll up and walk right through. And I still try to get there like a couple hours early so I can hit up Taco Deli.
Sometimes the lines can be really weirdly long. Like I don't understand it.
Even
at
the TSA
airport.
pre-check,
Yeah, it's like they really get long. But that's one of the things I appreciate about the Austin airport is that when you get through security, all of the food places are local. I think.
Yep.
Like it's not like most airports you go to. It's like the same shit.
Yeah,
over
it's
and
like
over.
Chili's to go and like.
It's like Amy's ice cream there.
There it is.
Yeah.
Which
Salt
also,
lick as well. There's fly right.
Salt lick.
I'm gonna be real. Amy's ice cream at an airport does befuddle me. I don't know how someone eats ice cream and then gets on a plane.
I traveled with someone from this company once who bought a fucking milkshake and walked onto the plane with an Amy's milkshake. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What's
wrong with that?
You're like a monster.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Krista Maris?
I don't remember exactly who it was. I want to say I think it was Jack, but it might have been Chris Damaris. I've seen Chris Damaris buy smoothies and get on the plane, which isn't as weird to me.
Wasn't there a trippy one? I think it was New York Comic Con one year, where Michael and Chris were like the last people to board the planes, and they came on with milkshakes.
I thought it was smoothies.
Or smoothies.
Yeah.
So they were drinking something cold and delicious.
Yeah, they almost missed the flight because they got smoothies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hot here. What's wrong with a cheeky ice cream?
I feel
I've
like a
never
lot
done
of
it, but-
people have some level of intolerance to milk and lactose.
Yep.
So, and then the pressure difference when you're in the plane already makes you gassy to begin with. So it's just like you're like fart city if you take a milkshake on a plane.
I'm glad you get me, guys.
Yeah.
I've been trying to tell this people, they're like, what's wrong with ice cream on a plane? I'm like, listen,
I mean, some people
Toot Central.
are not lactose intolerant.
It's a very small number of
Very
people.
small percentage.
Who are not?
Yeah. I think that's like a weird thing. I think most people don't realize like it's a really small percentage of people who can handle dairy
I mean,
Why are we
we're
all messing with it then?
because it's fucking delicious.
delicious, yeah. Yeah, it's
Have
really
you
good.
tried cheese?
What-
Jeez.
it's like we're the only mammal that drinks milk from another mammal.
So
I hate that fact though, because we're also the only mammal who built a skyscraper. Like, there's so much shit. It's
we're
like
the only
Eric's-
mammals who've watched Terminator 2 all the way through.
Yeah, but what about dolphins? They're very smart.
Experts
Smarter than a dolphin.
experts estimate that 68% of the world's population has lactose malabsorption.
That's a very large percentage.
I'm definitely one of those people. But does it stop me? Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's great.
But you'll see me in line at the Amy's at Austin Bergstrom.
Yeah, I think Trevor might also be because he's woken me up with smells of fart. Like his farts have smelled so bad that it's awakened me out of my slumber.
So not from the sound, from just the stench.
from the stench.
That's bad.
Yeah,
That's bad.
Wow.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it's
Like
very
there's the
impressive.
sound, there's the potential for vibration, and then there's the stench. And I think the stench is like the worst of the three.
It's yeah,
I've woken myself up with my own stench before.
with your own stench. Yeah, yeah. Hey, that means you're living life.
I'm drinking those Amy's milkshakes and getting on planes.
Every day.
Like I already fall asleep on planes so easily, and I snore, and like I'm like so relaxed when I'm asleep on a plane. I know if I drink a milkshake, I'm gonna pass out and just be farting the whole time in my sleep. Like someone's gonna be sitting next to me, like, oh my god, I got the worst seat on the plane, and I'm just gonna sleep through the whole thing.
Oh, poor Esther.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I'm not gonna subject anyone to that.
Hey,
Come on.
Oh, fart sounds. Those are my favorite.
they'll never not be funny.
Never not. Yeah, absolutely.
It's too hot here.
In
Pretty
Austin?
hot.
For farts?
It's like, not for farts. Well, I mean, it's worse for, yeah.
Hot farts are.
Hot farts are a bit worse. It's like 100 degrees today.
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
September 20th.
It's supposed to be the hottest day of the year. I think
Is
today.
it tomorrow the first day of fall?
I think so.
And then
Yeah.
I think tomorrow is also like it's gonna start getting cooler.
Yeah, there's going to be a cold front that comes in where it's going to be like the low is going to be, I want to say, in the high 50s or low 60s.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that low.
But then it's still going to be the high of like 90. So make sense of that. That's
doesn't
cool.
make
I
any
was
sense.
putting some stuff in my bin earlier, just taking out a bag from the kitchen, walking outside, popping it in the bin. And I was just sweating like a pig. And I was just thinking, I was stood there, boiling away in the heat. And I was just thinking to myself, a few months ago, if I'd have stood here all night, I would have frozen to death.
Yeah.
And now there is sweat pouring off me after about 25 seconds of being outdoors. What a location.
Climate
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Well, even a week after the freeze here, it was hot. I remember like a week to the day after, it was like, oh my god, it's fucking hot outside. I can't believe we were under ice last week.
Yeah. Pick
Yep.
a lane. Just stay in one and be that.
I wonder if, like, in a few years from now, if places like Canada are going to be generally more tolerable and people, like, everyone's going to want to try to go there
More so.
for, like, yeah, more so than they have been in the last
Clamoring
6
north.
years. Yeah, I mean, it's something I think about with climate change and everything and places getting warmer. Canada's just going to, like, even itself out.
But isn't the bigger threat with climate change just mental, severe weather all over the place?
For sure. But I
As opposed
think,
to,
like,
it's just hot.
I guess I'm thinking, like, really long term, like in the next 100 years, 80 to 100 years,
okay.
like, if it's going to get so bad.
Yeah, and they talk about like the Gulf Stream slowing down or stopping, which would cause like Britain to get really cold.
Shit.
Because like it's at a really far north latitude where it should be much colder than it is, but the ocean currents keep it warm. And it's like if they're slowing down and if they stop, then it's like, oh, Britain's just gonna freeze over.
Can we just like get some big fans put up? keep it moving.
just
in
keep it
the
spinning.
water.
Well, I'm really jealous because someone over here is moving
What?
to San Diego.
You're moving to San Diego, Gavin?
Yeah, Gavin.
What?
Wow, that's incredible.
That's where Eric's from.
Yeah.
San Diego.
Yeah, I don't know why he left.
I don't either.
Yeah, I just figured I'd get one.
San
of
Diego's
those.
awesome. I feel like I've only ever been during Comic-Con time, which is bad. But it's like the weather and the city all seem great if you just remove 100,000 nerds from the convention center. It'd be a
No,
lot
put it
better.
back. That's what makes it great.
It's good for those moments, but it's like, man, it's a lot of people.
Yeah, I'd only been out there once for like 8 hours early in the year, and I fell in love immediately. And then I went back a few weeks ago to look at places to live, and it was like it was nothing like I'd ever experienced before. I mean,
so jealous.
It was like I've been saying this, and well, I'll just say it anyways. It's been like it was like a better Florida where I grew up.
That bar is very low.
Yeah, the bar is very low.
Sorry, Florida.
It's okay.
But
I
also,
mean,
you know.
Yeah, I mean, I lived there for a bunch of my life, and I just like, this is what I wanted from Florida without all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I'm super excited for you.
thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
When?
Shoot, 3 weeks.
Shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
So,
too far from now.
I don't know if have you been on the RT podcast before?
No, I don't
I've
think
never
so.
been on the RT podcast
We should
before.
talk about what Chris does here, or I guess did.
Wow. I'm still on the clock for yeah. So yeah. I have been the audio lead for Rooster Teeth. I started back in like 2016, the beginning of the year, and I kind of took over the entire department, and then I
Forcefully.
and then I built the entire department. So forcefully, I went in there with my hands and I built everything from the ground up. But yeah, I hired my entire department and Jake from the live action team as well, who's now part of our team. And
Awesome, dude.
I've worked on pretty much every animated show we've made since I've been here.
This is a little bit of a nice to meet you, see you later sort of.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, Gavin.
Yeah, this is like Chris and Gavin's first, I guess, official meeting.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
because like different parts of the company sometimes just like hardly interact.
Yeah, I mean, we've been over in this building for some time now. Most of my employment, I think.
So you worked at the other building?
I worked
previously?
at Stage 5. Yeah, I was in the Whisper Room originally.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were
Way
there.
back in the
We
day.
were doing RVB 14 when we were in there. And then getting ready for Ruby 4. I think we moved into here, I think, around when Ruby 4 was like getting ready to ship. But yeah, so I got the best of both worlds, or the worst of both worlds, however you want to put it. But yeah, it's been a pretty wild and crazy time, and I'm super grateful for like all the opportunities I've had.
You've worked on so many things here. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think,
You had to put up with all of us
well,
making weird sounds into a microphone.
that's fine. That's fine. I enjoyed it, actually. I think, honestly, like, it's so weird to me. The first thing I got to work on was, like, the backgrounds for Camp, and then I went directly into working on RVB. And there was just, like, so much.
It's a different show.
Well, it's a different show, but there's so much, like, history behind RVB. And that was the anthology year, too. So, like, you were directing.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, Miles directed. And I got to meet a bunch of different, Kyle, Josh. I got to meet a bunch of people, different people that kind of stepped in to direct all that stuff. So it was pretty rad.
That's cool. Yeah, and I think that's how I saw you 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Because you were, back then, you were always in the booth back over there.
Yeah, it was
doing audio.
It was just doing, like, voice records for that whole thing. I feel like that's, like, 90% of yours and mine, like, our conversations outside of, like, the odd, like...
Yeah, it was
catch in the
almost
kitchen.
always through a microphone and headphones,
Yeah.
like separated by the window.
Yep.
You're
Actually,
just practicing for COVID.
Yeah.
we're getting ready for it.
Yeah. Plexiglass.
Gus, out of curiosity, do you have a Simmons line that you would do to get into character? I was trying to think
That's
about
an
this the other
excellent
day.
idea, sir.
There it is.
That is written.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. That's an excellent idea, sir. That's what I normally say. Okay, let's go.
I love it so much.
And I'm in.
I love it.
That's a very Smithers energy.
Yeah.
What was your line to get into VAV? An X-ray in VAV? Wow.
Oh, I thought you were thinking. I thought you were trying to remember.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to remember one single line I had, but I don't remember.
I don't remember. Like, man, I have to rewatch that series. It's been such a long
A
time.
long time. I mean, that's almost 6.5 years ago, I think.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I just realized something the other day that made me actually upset. I'm closer to 40 than I am to when I graduated college. So I graduated college at 22, and I'm 32 now.
Oh,
And 40 is 8 years away versus the end of college being 10 years.
hey, listen, time is relative.
time-
That's just,
weird,
it makes me
stretchy
upset.
thing. Yep. It's
It makes me
happened
really
more and more.
upset.
And then, so you graduated college 10 years ago, you said?
10 years ago.
10 years before that, you were 12?
That's, yep.
The same amount of distance between 12 and then and now?
You're wrinkling my mind right now, man.
Yeah, it sucks. It happens.
Yeah. Wow.
I moved to America when I was 23.
Yeah, I was 22.
What was I thinking?
Right? We were children. Little tiny children.
Looking back at it, that was quite a move.
Yeah.
know,
That was pretty extreme.
I'll be real though, like at like 20, like your early 20s, I feel like is that time
That's
to
when to do
really
it.
like just do it. Just go somewhere. Like I moved here when I was 20. Was it 10 years ago?
From Florida?
22 from Florida. Yeah. I just kind of picked up and moved out here.
It felt like a pretty good time to do it because it was like before I had any true responsibilities or really any roots. It was
You know,
like, it was
ties
like
to anything.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like a now or never sort of thing.
When you're younger, it's easier, but you're not as prepared for it.
I would also argue that, like, it's never too late. I think if people want to change their location, change their situation, change their career, whatever it is, like, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just once you get like it's going to be harder for me to move back to England than it was to move to a foreign country.
Because you have so many roots here
all
now.
this shit here
There's
now.
a certain inertia to it, you know.
Sure.
Like once you're in place, you kind of like want to stay, not move. Like you get that level
Yeah.
of comfort.
Because people might stick it out more than have the willy-nilly ability to just be like, fuck it, let's go.
Someone in chat, I think it was Ace Ciolek, asked, "What's your line to get ready for Yang?" We didn't have to do that.
Lindsay and I have the opposite, where they go, Yang, Yang, and I go, Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. That's it. But for Neris, I would go,
Like unicorn, unicorn, unicorn. Okay.
ready to go. Yeah, I have words. Some people have phrases, but
Yeah.
I would just have words.
Matt's getting into Sarge was Simmons.
That's pretty good.
I've been working on it.
Is that what your new career is going to be?
Yeah, I'm
Professional
actually
Sarge
the new Sarge. Yeah.
Well,
take
now I
it
need
over.
to hear your Yang.
Oh, no, not happening. Not happening.
Matt's ability to do a Sarge line straight off the paper, reading it for the first time, and have it be a usable take
Incredible.
was. I mean, like there were some times where I was recording him when he would laugh while doing the line because he's reading it for the
First time,
and I
but
was
he'd
like,
be performing.
I was like, how are you doing that? Like, how are you reacting to it as you're? It's amazing.
Yeah.
One time I remember years ago when we
sight
didn't
reader.
have audio people, when it was like me
The
firing
before
up.
times.
Right, bro. Like
Jesus
we were going to record lines for Matt as Sarge, and I turned it on. He was like doing his warm up, and he just started like improvising, singing a song as Sarge. And I was like, that's way funnier than anything I've heard. like let's just record that.
Matt's
Let's
fucking
do
funny.
that.
I love his so he was so good at improv that he'd be like he'd deliver the lines as on script like the first few times, and he like Gavin was saying, he'd like chuckle to himself and he'd be like, okay, third one, and the third take was always some improv version of that take, and it was always funny every single time.
It's great when you have someone who, like, I mean, obviously he's been playing that character since that character has existed, but to know that character so well that you could improvise any sort of line that goes with that scene. It's a skill.
I think that's one of my favorite things about working on RB and Ruby is that I think all of you have worked on your characters for so long that you know what the characters sound like. You're able to get right into it. I mean, I think Jeff might be the fastest voice actor I've ever worked with. He gets
it
in
one take?
He gets in, he does it in like 2 takes, and he's like, bing, bang, boom. And I know he's a busy dude, but like,
I always picture like Krusty the Clown as my like spirit animal for like doing VO when he goes in. Sideshow Mel, you know, like he gets in and out so fast. Like the audio engineer's like, all right, we're ready to go. Wait, where are you?
he's gone. Oh,
Great
man.
analogy.
Yeah, anytime I'm in the booth back here, I always see Krusty the Clown going in to record audio. Yeah. So are we going to? Are you able to say what you're going to be doing? Or
Yeah, I guess now is the time to do it.
Totally up to you, yeah.
So I've been holding off on this one because it's kind of a big deal for me. So as of October 18th, I will be a sound designer for PlayStation Studios.
Whoa!
Nice.
Holy crap.
That's a real job. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
PlayStation Studios.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be exciting. The team that I'll be working with is legendary, and they've worked on, God of War, Demon Souls, and they touch a bunch of different projects around the entire.
Can you get him to put the RCA audio cables back onto the PlayStation 6? I miss my red and my white audio.
I'll work on it.
Took you a while. My left channel and my right channel. It was so easy back then.
So when you are working for PlayStation Studios, does that mean you work on like all the games that they make?
Yeah. So without going into too many details, like the studio I'm going to work for, basically, they're like PlayStation Studios Sound, and they are the people that get called in to help work on trying to avoid NDA here. Let's just look back at Demon Souls or Death Stranding or God of War, the first game. Those games are made exclusively by those studios, but any studio that falls under the branch of PlayStation basically will come to them for extra sound work.
That's so cool.
Awesome. The chat's blowing up. Everyone's super happy for you. Lots of congrats in there.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's weird because someone asked me if it was like a dream job.
Yeah.
And it was weird because after they asked me that question, it was like that realization that yes, it was a dream job, that it is. Because I'd never really thought about it before then. You put your name to for me, growing up, Valve was the studio I wanted to work for forever. I played a bunch of Counter-Strike and Half-Life and all those games. But never once did I stop and think, oh, hey, I want to go work specifically for PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then when I found out that was a thing that I could do, it was one of those my heart kind of,
Yeah.
Did you play Half-Life, Alex?
Not yet. That I'm so sad that.
Oh, they
game
just
came
rescinded
out.
their offer to you. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sad that Half-Life Alex came out after I broke down my entire VR set, because that was I've been waiting for years to finally play a Half-Life game again. Have you gotten to play it?
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
It might be one of my favorite gaming experiences.
Wow. That's a big bold statement.
And I cried at the end.
Wow.
But I still don't really know why, because it wasn't sad.
Well, maybe it was just so beautiful you enjoyed it.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. Or something you're not necessarily sad or moved by it. It's just so much and so overwhelming that there's no other emotion you could possibly have except just bawling your eyes out.
Yeah, at the end I was just like,
Did you ruin your VR headset?
Just so many tears.
Just fills up.
Post credits.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about a good game that really invokes that emotion too. For me, that was the last God of War game really pulled that out of me. But it had some real emotional moments.
God, yeah. The very end of that game is awesome. It's so good.
Yes.
I need to replay that before the next one comes out.
Yeah,
I
dude.
watched, speaking of emotional reactions to games, that game that Alana Pierce is working on. I think it's the new God of War
it's
game.
God of War 2.
Ragnarok?
I should say.
She, I guess, streamed her reaction to seeing the trailer for it, and at the event that just happened, which I'm blanking on the name of it.
It's the PlayStation Showcase.
And she was so emotional about it and talking about how she feels this insane connection to these characters because she's one of the writers and working on these things and working closely with everyone who works on the game, and just the connection she has to the story, to the characters, to the team. And it was just I got emotional watching her reaction to it because it was
Seeing that enthusiasm or that love for it.
because she's I've watched a million of these things, a million of these trailers for games coming out and have been excited about it, but I've never really understood how much work goes into everything and how much time and effort and passion really truly goes into every step of the process.
Good
It's
for
just
her.
really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's kicking ass.
She absolutely is, and it's so awesome to see her her journey. I think that likewise, maybe you have experienced and just haven't really spent too much time living in it, but any RTX we had when we would show off a red trailer or the yellow trailer, whatever trailer it is, or for Mercs for RVB, it was just the feeling, the crowd just losing their mind. It was this visceral oh my god, I feel all of that energy just going right into me, and just tears just shooting out of your face or whatever.
I think I've cried at every single Ruby panel that we've ever had, just
Right?
watching people's reactions to stuff like that in person. or even like when we show I am a crybaby, and that's all being a Cancer. But I'm just kidding, or am I? You'll never know.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it's just like that's something I really missed these last 2 years. Is like not getting any sort of like human feedback reaction to like anything you work on. That's a big part of like what makes it really special.
And I think that's part of why maybe, and I don't want to speak for Alana, but like I would imagine because she hasn't really been able to, because the game has been mostly under wraps, most like all games, right? Like they've announced games at that showcase that aren't coming out till 2022 or 2023, I think. But like you have to quietly work on this thing for a potentially indeterminate amount of time.
Yep. And
finally when it goes out, it's like the weight of all of that just kind of like floods out. It's just like, holy.
It's like such a relief.
Yeah.
Has anyone played Deathloop?
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm trying to finish Ghost of Tsushima before I get to Deathloop. So I was playing, I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago, I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, and I was loving the game so much, I was going through and doing like every side quest, like completely doing everything on that map, and then Deathloop came out, like, fuck. So I'm trying to optimize my Ghost of Tsushima playthrough. It's like, I'm not doing all the side quests and doing everything anymore. It's like, I'm going to do some of them, but I'm kind of focused on story now to try to finish it to get to Deathloop.
Are you playing it with subtitles and the Japanese voice actors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
That's a great game. But no, did you play Deathloop?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Did you cry?
No, I'm still playing
You
it.
fucking
and
baby.
I haven't cried it. No, I just
Deathloop.
to be honest.
Oh my god.
To be honest, I never heard of it. Never knew it was being made. Don't think I saw anything about it. I think I just saw Alana's Instagram where she was talking about it, and I just read like what she wrote, and it was like, yeah, FPS, time loop, and I was just like, and I was like, that sounds like my shit.
What platform is it on?
PlayStation and PC?
Yeah, I'm playing on PC, Steam, whatever.
It's an Arcane game?
I believe so, yeah.
Arcane
Yeah, I
they
think
own?
they made.
I think that they announced
Prey?
it at E3, not this past E3, but the one before.
Yeah.
I think that's where it was announced. But I remember watching the reveal trailer, be like, "That game's going to be fucking awesome." So
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it for a while. That's why I'm kind of like trying to
Yeah,
hurry through Ghost of Tsushima.
As someone
now.
who's like I game a lot, but I just don't give a rat's anus about E3. I just don't care about games that I can't play yet. I think it's like, oh, cool, you're working on it. Tell me when I can play it. But it's really fun. I like it. It takes a surprising amount of time to get going until you're like all the way out of the tutorial.
Oh, I don't
it's
like that.
It's not like, here's the tutorial. It's like the beginning of the game is very like, now this menu will open up and you should do this. And then you think you're playing the full game and it's like, well, now you could do this though, and it's more, and it's like eventually you get out of that.
You're not selling me on it.
Eventually, you get out of that, and I really like it because you restart the day every time, and then you take the knowledge that you found on that loop,
And try not to die.
and you can go to different places. It's basically separated into morning, noon, afternoon, evening.
Okay.
Is it like is the map the same all the way through?
Well, there's at the moment I'm like I'm probably like 10 hours in. But there's 4 places I can go, and depending on what time of day, different shit is in different places. The main goal of the game, I think, is to kill these 8 specific people, in the same loop. And then you have to play it through a few times to figure out how to get everyone into place and where you need to be to take them all out. It's like an interesting, puzzly kind of, almost like an Outer Worlds style discovery game with an FPS.
Cool.
And also, you'll probably hate this, but people can jump into your game and try and kill you.
Oh, yeah,
and
I hate that.
And I think you can turn that off. But sometimes I'll be like, right at the end of the day, I'll be like, ooh, it's been a while since I've made it to the nighttime. Because if you die too many times, you reset.
Are we PlayStation friends?
Oh no.
I don't have a PS5.
Oh fuck, you're on Steam. All right, never mind.
to get one.
I got to okay.
But you're
okay,
Steam friends, I imagine.
Okay, yeah, yeah. All right, I'm gonna buy it on PC.
Yeah, but sometimes you'll be really focused on this one thing. You'll be like, okay, I've got everything in place. And then someone will just come in and murder you. And it's
Oh
like,
my god.
Gus, I have an idea. Gavin, why don't you play this game like between 1 and 3:30 on like a Wednesday?
oh, okay. I wonder what will happen.
You and me and John Blade
Wink, wink.
will hop in his game. Fuck it up.
But yes, I like it. But it is also, it's right up my street. So I'm not sure everyone would like it, but I recommend.
I'm just not. I think I've been burned out. There's too many games I feel like I played where the tutorial and the intro takes way too long to get to the meat of the game. Like I think the last game I did, which I ended up liking, was like Final Fantasy 15. It was like you're playing the game for a long time. It's like, oh, and there's this new. You're hours in. You're like, why am I still being taught shit? Like, just let me start playing the game, or just let me get all that shit up front. It's like the one thing I miss about when games used to come with like little manuals. Like you could read it ahead of time, like, all right, shit, I know how to play this game. And now it's like, oh, I got to dedicate
There's
a couple
some games
hours.
also that don't have the ability to skip cutscenes.
Yeah, or even worse, if you can't pause it.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than like you're playing a game, you're really into it, then like something happens, like shit, I need to step away for a second.
Yeah.
Like then you try to pause the cutscene and it like skips you. Like no.
That's rough.
You can't pause Deathloop.
Well, I guess it makes
great.
sense if people come in.
Yeah, I think maybe if you're not online, you can pause it. But
Okay.
That's like my demise in like any Souls game that I played is just getting invaded and then just like being massively overtaken by some just someone rolling up in my game and just being like, hey, look at my sword. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have the ability to turn that off in those games?
It's yes. So you in the Souls games, I think it's all of them. Basically, you go into like a form, like you're in soul form, and then you're in human form.
Remember Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we're talking about the same Souls game.
Dark Souls,
I
Demon
don't
Souls,
speak
etc.
games
Got you
very well.
So the Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and I even think Bloodborne and maybe Sekiro, but I'm not sure about that one. Effectively, you have like a mode where you're in your human form, and if you are in that form, someone can invade your world. You get perks. You're like, oh, you have like more health if you're in human form than spirit form, or you get more buffs or what have you. I'm probably poorly explaining this. Someone's gonna
No, it's okay.
shit on me later.
I play pretty much like any game that I could play that has the option to play it on easy is how I play it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because I just want to not stress myself out. But I've heard the Souls games are like fucking hard.
Oh yeah, massively so. And
Yeah.
there's no difficulty slider for it.
I'm out. I'm out.
Even before you're in, you're out.
Yeah. Me and Trevor started playing WarioWare. You guys played that yet?
is it the new one?
Nice.
The new one?
Is it good?
Yes. I've never played that game before. It's like an acid trip.
I think you just summarized any WarioWare game.
I think I've played all of the previous WarioWare games, but this time, I don't know if I'm getting too old or what. Like sometimes like a game pops up and I'm like, what? It's over? What did I do? Like how did I win that?
On the DS ones, wasn't it the same where it's like, go?
No, that's what this is.
Yeah.
It's literally just like, here's the character you're playing as. All right, the level has started. Clear this. But it's like,
I'm just, well, how is that different to the old one?
I feel like I can't, sometimes it doesn't click. Like I'll look at it like, what was that? I don't know. Did I miss it? And let's like
yeah,
now,
and you like beat the level and you're like, I don't know what I did.
yeah. Plus now there's characters that you can select that do different things.
Yeah.
Like every character has a different ability. So it's like you could see the same game multiple times, but with different characters, and you have to approach the same thing from a different angle depending on what character you're playing.
And you have 2.5 seconds to finish.
Holy
literally.
Holy shit.
How many characters? I think there's
I want to say there's
10?
no. I think there's more.
Is there
I
more?
want to say there's like 20 characters.
That's like increasing replayability like
Yeah.
20-fold, I
Maybe
guess,
not-
at that point.
because
Like 16.
I finished the main story, and then like after you finish it, there's like more, and I haven't done the more stuff yet, which I think unlocks more characters.
Yeah, Trevor and I started playing it the other weekend because he was going to play it for an achievement hunter thing, and so he wanted to like start the game and like get some stuff unlocked. And I think by the time we finished playing, we had like 5 or 6 characters unlocked, and then he brought it back home after you guys were done with it, and almost all the characters are unlocked. And I was like, but I didn't get the tutorial on this one. I don't know how to play. And it's just, he's like, you'll get the hang of
Yeah,
it.
and some of them are really weird. Like there's some that never stop moving.
Yep.
There's some that can't move.
There's some that like shoot things.
Or like you can shoot in any direction. Some that can only shoot in one direction.
Yep.
It's
Sounds like a shit show.
it's maddening.
We're playing it on Thursday
Yeah,
on our stream.
Oh my god.
it's a lot of fun.
So if you want to watch us try to figure it out, tune into R2TV on Thursday at 1 o'clock.
Do you think okay, this might be a weird question. Do you think in order to play a game such as WarioWare that seems like an acid trip, one could be tripping on acid and be better at said game?
Well, like it would unacid itself.
Yeah, like it's like,
Like it would-
two rights make a wrong or wrongs make a right kind of thing.
Honestly, I've never taken acid, so I don't know like the actual effects it has on like how you would observe a video game.
How do you take? Do you eat the acid?
I think you drop it, so it's like is it a liquid or
you
is
put
it?
acid in your butt.
It's a liquid that you put on other stuff.
Fair
Today I
play.
learned.
Thank you, disembodied voice.
The person who answered that has never taken acid or any drugs.
You're talking about like WarioWare and watching it on acid, and it sounds miserable.
Yeah.
It's like hell.
It's overwhelming, that game. Everything is so fast. Everything is like so intense. It's fun though.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad they finally made another one, another WarioWare game. I feel like it's been a long time since there have been one that came out. I think
GameCube.
no, there was one on the 3DS. I don't know if there's been one. Was there one on the Wii? Shit, I don't remember. List of WarioWare games. It always feels like a mobile game to me.
It's justifiably, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 3DS. Our internet here is awesome. There it is.
Again.
No, not list of Wario video games. List of WarioWare games.
You can tell us the Wario games too.
Yeah.
No, okay,
It's probably not a lot of them.
No, it's a handful.
there was Game Boy Advance, GBA, DS, Wii. Oh yeah, WarioWare Smooth Moves on the Wii. Snapped, DIY on the DS. Game and Wario on the Wii U.
Oh, that's right.
WarioWare Gold on the 3DS.
Wasn't Game and Wario supposed to be like the Game and Watch
think so.
Wario like crossover game?
I never
Mr.
played
Game
that one.
and Watch.
So the last one was WarioWare Gold in 2018. It looks like on the 3DS.
Would,
And I'll get it to you.
I might say, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that might be too many WarioWare games.
It's quite a lot.
There's maybe a few you could have cut out of there.
Yeah, maybe one or two.
Maybe one or two.
Do you
Oh,
think?
can I get mad at Nintendo? We're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about Nintendo.
Of course.
Holy shit. I haven't been on the podcast since this happened.
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about.
There's been Bluetooth audio in
I
the
can't
Switch
fucking
this whole
believe it, dude.
time.
I can't believe it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
They released a software update. So now Bluetooth audio works on the Switch.
Yep.
Oh, I bought a thing.
Yeah, it's been in there.
bought a little
It's
annoying
been 4.5 years.
Yep.
It's been in there.
I bought a thing where if I don't take it out when I'm on a plane to put my Switch away, it's bending in the thing.
You don't need that.
So now it's on this, or it
in
has
there.
been?
It's always been
yeah.
there. Yeah.
They just
why
released a
didn't- was
software update and that enabled it.
Was it like a security risk? Like, what was the reason they didn't have that on?
I don't know. They just did.
It's Nintendo.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't there because like they didn't have the hardware to do it. I thought it was like some other weird limitation. No, they just released the
Wow.
software update and they're like, oh yeah, there's Bluetooth audio now. I was looking for a table to flip. I was so fucking
I like that they
mad.
gave us something, and everyone's
We're
annoyed.
still angry about it.
Like when they announced like the Switch, the new Switch that's gonna come out or whatever. Like I was mad that didn't have Bluetooth audio. It's been in there the whole time. That's the only thing I wanted. They lost out on a pre-sale. I would have ordered the new Switch if they said it has Bluetooth audio, and then they would have released this. Then I would have been mad for that reason.
It's so baffling how Nintendo still does that. Like what Gavin said, like when they're giving us something we want and we're angry about it. I feel like that's just their MO.
It's been so long. People have it's been so long that people's Switches have conceivably died, like from because it's been 4.5 years. And they've gotten new ones. Like entire Switches have gone through their life cycle without ever having used the Bluetooth audio because it was turned off.
So did you just never have headphones that plugged in?
I
you just
do, but
refuse?
I'd have to like carry a cable. Like it was just like, especially when you travel, it's like an inconvenient thing to like be wrapped up with the cable. I feel like the way that they position it as being like something you take on the go, like the portable aspect, like Bluetooth audio just makes a lot more sense.
I remember when we played Mario Party on the stream a couple weeks ago, or months ago at this point, where I was playing it on my Switch, and I think you or John were like broadcasting your view for the stream. And I had my Switch like balanced on something, and I was complaining how it kept falling over. And Gus was like, "Oh, just use the kickstand."
Oh, you didn't know that?
And I was like, "The what now?" I had my Switch for like fucking 3 years, and I never knew there was a kickstand on it.
Really?
Because I
Why'd you
just
put the SD card. Isn't that up the kick?
No, the SD
No,
card's
it's on the top.
On the top, isn't it?
thought it was up the kick.
Is it under the SD card? Is it under the kickstand?
No, I don't remember.
I think it is.
But
I
all my
think
games
Gavin's
were
right.
digital. I never had an SD card.
But that's where they would
That's
go.
where the
Where do
digital.
you save your games to? Or you just you've got away with just internal memory?
Just internal memory.
Wow.
I only had like 3 games on
It
my
is
Switch.
under the kickstand, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there
Yeah,
you go.
I,
Yeah, no, I never.
I feel like the kickstand is my favorite part of the Switch, not because I've ever used it to put it down, just because it's great to fiddle with when you're doing stuff, clicking it in and out. But then mine flew off, and it's not. I don't know.
I was gonna say, that's how you break it
I
off.
lost it on
Yeah,
a plane.
fiddling with it.
Well, that's the best part. Is I feel like it's part of the console. When you get mad, you can break it off, and then you just stick it back on because it's
Yeah.
got that magnet in there. You're like, "Fuck this thing."
Yeah,
All right,
mine-
back together.
Mine is now without kickstand, which is not great for fiddling.
I'm happy that I discovered it,
Yeah.
even though like that was the only time I actually needed to use it.
I think, you found out about it, then I immediately told you, don't be alarmed if it falls off. Like,
Yeah.
it's designed to break off. You just reattach it right back on, no problem.
Yeah, because I've never taken it on the plane with me before. I've never like used it. It's either been in the dock or in my hands, so I've never had to kick it out.
I almost exclusively for a long time just played my Switch on planes. That's how I was playing
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, which is why I started that game 3 times because I forgot every time.
The motion controls in Breath of the Wild, not great on a plane. Because when the plane starts to turn, the whole game
Also,
goes.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
accelerometers, how do they work?
Yeah, it's wild. Man, I've been, speaking of planes turning, I've been taking flight lessons. And I've been,
right.
Yeah, I've been reading, like, apparently, if you ever want to learn, the books are available for free. You can just download them from the FAA. They call it, like, the Airplane Flying Handbook.
You just learn how to fly a plane from that?
Yeah.
Well, it's like for driver's ed, you read about how to drive a car, right? Until you actually.
Yeah, but I feel like normally someone would try to sell you a book. Like, I just went to the FAA website. It's like, oh, I'm going to download a book to learn how to fly a plane.
Oh shit!
Oh, I want this book too. Like, anyway, it's a lot more complicated. there's a lot to it. It's complicated.
Fly a plane?
Imagineer that.
Is that surprising to you?
But I realize I've learned a lot of bad habits from playing Flight Simulator. It's like, reading the book, it's like, whatever you do, don't do this. Like, uh-oh. So I do that every time in Flight Simulator.
What's an example?
Like, when you bank a plane, like, let's say, for example, you're banking to the right.
Yeah.
You're supposed to, I don't want to get too in depth, but you're supposed to deflect your rudder a little bit in the same direction you're banking. So you would deflect your rudder to the right when you're banking to the right. In Flight Simulator, I would just bank it to the left and be like, yeah, I'm going to turn and make the plane like nose up at the same time. That's a big no-no.
Would that like rip your rudder off?
It wouldn't rip your rudder off, but it's like you start like cross-controlling, you potentially enter unstable flight. It's like, don't do that. It's like, oh, okay.
So
it's
is
like,
a plane capable of just ripping itself apart in the
I
air?
don't think so. I mean, not like the kinds of planes you start to play. You start
What
to
if you
like
put
learn how to
all
fly.
the different things in different
You end up, like,
directions?
stalling or like just fucking yourself up. You don't actually rip it apart. I think you'd have to have like a military plane, or I mean, if you fly too fast, you might be able to rip apart an airliner or like have parts fly off of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it would like.
Wait, what's too fast?
Hardcore.
Depends on the plane. Like that FedEx, we did an episode of Black Box Down about FedEx 705, and which was like a FedEx plane that someone tried to hijack and crash to make it look like a plane accident. So it's like this guy was attacking the pilots, and in order to try to fight him, only one of the pilots could fight him. The other one had to try to fly the plane. He started doing like barrel rolls and like diving the plane, and he started going so fast that pieces of the plane like fell off. Whoa! While they were still in the air, like he was going through maneuvers the plane was not rated for.
What happened to the plane?
It still flies. I saw it the other day flying
it
into
didn't
Austin.
crash?
Yeah, they landed it back at the airport. It's a DC-10 that
Do you
FedEx
think
still uses.
if we gave them enough time, that dolphins could fly a plane?
No.
I mean, maybe, but I don't think Eric
very
or
smart.
could fly that plane. If
Air?
the dolphin does.
Air is like thin water.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like a fluid. So you'd think that they'd be able to learn how to get through it. They're already used to dealing with 3 dimensions in the water. They'd be able to easily fly
Oh, yeah.
a plane.
Dolphins smart.
What the fuck?
No.
What just happened?
We had a whole discussion about dolphins being smart.
It's true.
Fluid dynamics, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. Currents. The dolphin would be like, I know this. It's easy.
So if like the
Jet
dolphin,
stream, Gulf Stream.
Yeah, exactly the same.
if a dolphin had like 99% less like mass, do you think they could just like?
Describing birds.
What do you mean, Eric?
He's describing birds.
A light dolphin?
That's what
If this dolphin was covered in feathers,
Do you think a bird flies because it has less mass than a dolphin?
No, I think that what he's driving at is that. I think that's where we're getting in the car and going. Is if it had wings and its bones were hollow, yeah, it'd be a bird.
do you think the equivalent of a bird to a plane is a human and a moving sidewalk?
Oh.
Wait, that got
Like, yeah, that's a good one. I like it. I didn't think about it.
You know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was also thinking about like the little fins on a dolphin are kind of like wings already.
Oh my
See, this is again what we were driving at. Dolphins is birds.
Dolphins is birds.
Yeah. See, coffee break and chat agrees.
Yeah, there you go. That's all that matters. Just one person agreeing with us.
Did you buy a new professional telephone?
No, I did. Oh my God, we talk about it. Is this the Apple part?
The segue.
go for
This is the segue.
No, I did not. Did you?
Yeah.
Of
course he did.
I'm still happy. I've got the 12 Pro, and so I didn't feel like there was enough. I mean, there were some cool things I thought about the 13, but nothing that I was like, oh wow, I gotta buy that. I gotta spend $1,100 or whatever to get that.
What drove you to pick up this model?
Honestly, I film so much stuff around the office on my phone. I just feel like I like to have the best camera
I
on
feel
the
like you-
phone that I can get.
That makes
That's
sense.
As long
Apple.
as I've known you, I feel like you always get the new iPhone when it's available, right?
It's not.
Has there ever been a time you didn't get it? Like,
Yeah, I didn't. Well, before I moved here, I used to get one every few years. It's just the iPhone turns into a piece of shit if it's more than
I
a year
know.
old. It turns into a slow turd.
obsolete.
The battery turns to garbo. Doesn't even last a day. You're trapped in the hate loop of like, I need a new phone because my current phone is shit.
Are you an iPhone person?
I am. I actually have the same, the 12.
Pro
Pro?
Max?
No, I don't have, I don't
Is
have
it?
the
Is
Max
it? What is
anymore.
this one?
That's an 11.
Oh, okay.
11 Pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Is
know.
that not 12 Pro?
No, you can tell because it doesn't have the LiDAR sensor.
Oh, the 11 had 3 cameras on it?
Yeah. The 11 had 3 cameras. The 12 you can tell because it has the LiDAR sensor, and I haven't seen the 13 yet. I think the 13, the camera lenses protrude like a tiny little bit more.
They're saying like the 14, they're going to try and make it flush, right? That's like the plan.
I don't know.
I think Jeremy still has like the 8.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's still like the thin little camera guy at the top.
Although I bet it's better for current times because didn't that one have Touch ID still? Or is that
I
after?
think he might have the first one that has Face ID.
The
I don't know.
7
remember when
definitely
that
was
happened.
Touch ID.
I feel like,
8 is still Touch ID.
Is 8 is Touch ID?
Wow.
yeah, for like wearing a mask, that's so much better.
Yeah. Man, so fucking this God, this Apple presentation. I'm a little mad. Maybe not too mad. I'm a little miffed because for the first time in years, I bought an iPad, and then the week after I bought it, they introduced a new one.
Oh yeah.
Did you do that with a laptop or something
I've
recently?
done that before. Yeah.
But you knew the Apple presentation was coming up.
The rumor was that they weren't going to do iPads till later. That they were just going to do phones.
Why not
Fun
wait
and
the
watch.
2 weeks just in case?
I needed one.
Oh.
I needed to get it. So I was like, it's not a big deal. And in the end, I'm not too mad about that. But the thing I am miffed about is that they've changed the port on the iPad mini to now be USB-C instead of Lightning. It's like now within even their own ecosystem, they're not keeping it consistent. And when they introduced this port change to USB-C, they were like, now data will transfer even faster. It's like, you motherfuckers, you're the reason we're using Lightning. You're the one who told us this was better than USB. And now you're like, oh no, this USB-C is even better. But you can't get it on your phone or any other. Well, I guess
But didn't
it's
they
all you can
also-
get on your laptop.
It's on their laptops.
Didn't they also announce a different iPad that wasn't USB-C?
Yeah, the iPad
What are they
just by
doing?
itself.
They also, I can't watch the presentations anymore. They're just the whole presentation is in a new building right up Apple's asshole. They are so far up their own anus.
It is. It's a circle.
They just talk anyway.
What?
They have a
the Apple building. It's the anus of Apple.
they have a feature on the new.
Yeah, that's the title. The anus of Apple.
They have a feature
that'll
on the
get
new phone
approved.
where you can shoot on your phone in ProRes, but the phone is Lightning still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's USB 2. You could be shitting out like low compression ProRes professional video files and then downloading it over USB 2.
To take a long time.
We're millennials and this
USB-C
is
on
an
our
outrage.
If you position it as professional and you position it to where something you can use this like ProRes large file size, and I think in fact if you're going to be shooting ProRes, the phone has to have like at least 256 gigs free.
Well, I think if you have like 64 gigs, you can film for like a minute.
I don't think you're allowed to.
Yeah, I don't think it lets you.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
But who's that for? I'm a professional video maker,
All right.
right? Why would I turn that on? Like, what am I going to be doing with ProRes on my phone?
You tell me. I don't know.
Like, who's going to turn that on? I would love to know in the comments if you plan on shooting ProRes from your phone.
What people are probably going to do, they're going to turn it on, take a screen cap, and that's it. They're not actually going to use it.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, in the whole presentation, they're like, what were they saying? They're like, who was it? They were like, they got like a couple of directors, like we had them use the hardware and film these videos for you to watch. I was like, I don't want to watch this. Like, let's
skip through it.
Another novelty piece of content filmed on a phone by professional people who, the moment this is over, will go and use an ARRI.
Right. Like,
or something real.
They're not going to actually make a movie using the phone.
I want any phone that is not going to make me, the second I unlock it, to my camera and go, ugh, when I see my face. That's the phone I want. Change the wide angle lens in whatever way you can so that I'm not frightened by my own chin when I unlock it.
Someone who is this? Corey Potter says vloggers, but still, I think vloggers, Gavin. But there's some fundamental disconnect happening here with the way they're positioning this and the way that they're supporting it. I mean, I guess theoretically, could you? This is even slower. You're going to hate this. Could you shoot something in ProRes, let your phone sync to iCloud overnight, and then download the footage?
I
your
bet.
internet
I mean, you
connection?
could airdrop it. It would probably be a lot faster than a
AirDrop,
cable.
yeah.
But
I mean, at that
Then
point, just get a professional camera, right? Like,
well, even a vlogger, like a nice
Catherine
cheap,
Bigelow?
like any camera with a slightly bigger sensor than what's in a phone will look better.
right.
I think it's just the concept, right, of having the thing that's in your pocket can also double as the thing that you're
Having
going
it right
to
with
film
you.
with.
Yeah,
The
I just think I don't think compression is the issue with phone footage. It's more
Capacity and transfer
Well,
speed.
yeah. I mean, are you
just
gonna
a tiny little sensor.
are you gonna shoot something on your phone and then color correct it? Like, are you gonna import it into? Like, do you really need to preserve the color data? Like, what's it gonna? I know it's ProRes, but it's gonna shoot like 422. What is it? What is the spec it's gonna shoot that in?
Maybe it's like
iPhone.
there's new ProRes. There's like ProRes RAW now.
Oh, is there? It's been a while. I've been out of the game for a
Been
little
out of
while.
the ProRes game.
Yeah.
ProRes.
Yeah, we don't even go when we're editing because we have to have ProRes in our editing tools, and we don't even go raw with that. We go proxy because it's the smallest variant of that. It still looks great for what that's worth, but
I'm
I don't know
learning
how.
so much right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah,
I've seen those
actually.
words.
yeah. ProRes proxy.
I've seen those words on files and stuff like that, even like in the animation department. And now I
Yeah.
know what it means.
Yeah. So it's
Professional resolution?
I think that's right.
probably, but
Okay.
it just says ProRes.
Probable resolution?
It's unclear which exact flavor of ProRes Apple will support on iOS devices at this time. So we still don't even know.
I feel like they're moving in like an interesting direction. Anyone who uses ProRes, I assume, will be using a camera. So it's just a weird, like, will 0.1% of people use that feature? Probably not even that.
Yeah, I mean, to speak to the point, like, you know, Barbara, you work in video production, you shoot a lot of stuff with your camera, and, you know, you're still finding out what ProRes is right now. Like, it's going to be a very small group of people, I think, who know what that is, and then two, are like, yeah, shooting ProRes on my phone, that's something I'm going to work into my workflow.
Yeah.
Well,
How many megs per second is that?
I think isn't it like a gig a minute?
wow.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense they have a terabyte phone now.
Oh, was that announced? Like a terabyte?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I guess they did get rid of the 64 gig, which didn't make any sense to have anyways. But
Right.
Yeah. Is it the 128 gig then that can't do ProRes 4K?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's right. It has to be 256.
so is it like 128, 256, and then 1 terabyte? Because they always skip one size that everybody
it's
really
Like a
fucking wants.
512
I
or
think they did
something?
512.
512?
So standard ProRes 422 eats up a gig a minute at 1080p 30.
Christ on it.
Wow.
And it's 4K.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fuck.
I'll give it a go. You know what? I'll do a side-by-side on it. I'll see if it's worth it.
I mean,
My prediction, it's not worth my phone filling up in 25
are you
seconds.
going to get the biggest version? Like the highest memory?
Probably.
Yeah. Powerful
terabyte
phone?
phone.
Yeah, terabyte phone.
Wow. You're gonna tear through that storage so quickly, though.
Yeah. With all your
Unless you're doing
ProRes.
like constant like records and then dumps like every night or something.
Oh, God. When the iPhone first launched, what were the sizes? Was it like 4 and
gig.
6.
I think 16 was the highest for a while, but that was like maybe like iPhone 3 or 4 territory.
It's also before you could really have like movies stored on your phone, right? And shit like that.
4, 8, or
Like you could have
16 gigs.
photos.
I think you could transfer stuff maybe from iTunes back then.
Oh yeah.
It was like an iPod, but with phone capability.
You can have one movie and 3 photos
Yeah.
for 4 gig or whatever.
I remember talking to my dad before the first Apple, the iPhone came out. I'm like, hey, Dad, Apple's doing something. We should look at investing in this stock. They're going to release a thing called the iPhone. He's like, son, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Let's look at some other options.
Oh, you should have put all your eggs in that one basket.
And it's like, all right. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, I guess.
Let's look at Bitcoin instead.
Oh, man.
The crypto today was a bad day on the
Bad
market.
day.
It was a bad day for crypto.
Indeed.
Yeah, like it was bad all around. I was like everything started boo and it went boom.
Yeah. Eddie's my like go-to guy where we'll just talk about how poorly our portfolios are doing. And then we'll look at like the lost porn on Reddit where it's like people will be like, yeah, I lost like $250,000 in the
Oh my
market today.
God.
It's like, don't do that.
Lord.
That's
Yeah.
a bad time. Bad time.
That's a lot of money to lose.
I feel like this past year,
Holy shit.
because of like the crazy just the news popping off about crypto, like everyone's just getting into it. Like the
I feel like a
general
lot of people have been
market.
getting into investment in general this year.
Sure.
I mean, that whole thing that happened with GameStop, I think, made a lot of people interested
yeah.
in stocks and investing and whatnot. And, that, and also just people are at home and like looking into new hobbies and
I
new
think it's
interests
also
and stuff.
possible that maybe like people, since they weren't traveling or going out as much,
Yeah.
like you're kind of like cooped up for a year. You've got more expendable income that would have been spent otherwise that
True.
you're trying to figure out what to do with. So I think Freddie Wong was tweeting the other day about like how, I guess he's like into pinball machines, about like how people are arbitrarily jacking up the prices on pinball machines. Like he just wants to collect some of these machines. It's like now I guess people have these hobbies or disposable income. It's like so now his hobby costs a lot more because other people have
Yep.
extra money to burn. He's like, so all the prices are going up.
I put all my money into WarioWare.
Yeah, pinball, like at home
Not looking
pinball
good.
is gone crazy. They like a new pinball machine now. If they do like a lot of them come out in like 3 versions. There's like a normal one, and then there's like a premium one, and then there's like a much rarer collector's one. Sometimes the collector's ones are like $20,000
Wow.
for
Holy
one
shit.
pinball machine,
That's fucking expensive.
which is bonko.
There's a couple I watch on YouTube called Kara and Nate. They're like travel vloggers. Fantastic. If you ever want to
Do they shoot ProRes?
But they were doing a thing where they got a van and were like traveling around the US all year and stuff like that. And they did a video that just came out, I think yesterday, where they did a one night stay in a van called I'm forgetting the brand name of it, but it's either $650,000 or $700,000 van. It's like a camper
Like
van.
how big are we talking? Are we talking like those giant camper vans?
It's not
or
those like
Winnebago
giant
stuff?
RV things. It's like
Like not a tour, like a tour bus kind of thing, but like
Right.
just a regular like small camping, like
it looked
300
like a
square feet.
truck with a giant compartment on the back,
Okay.
and like
Earthroamer.
Earth-
$150,000.
Earthroamer. That's the one. Thank you. And like to be fair, it was like state of the art. Like everything was really well furbished and like ran
Oh.
really well.
It's like a camper truck. Yeah,
Camper
yeah.
truck, yeah. But I was like, holy, that's the price of a expensive house.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
And they have more expensive ones. Holy shit.
Yeah. They get up to what, like $1 million, I think?
I see a $1.5 million one here.
Nope.
Insane. But I mean, like, if people are using that to live and travel and stuff like that, and that's going to be just like it, and you have fuck you money,
Do you pay property tax on that?
probably not.
That's actually a really good question.
No, I don't think so.
Because you're not
Yeah.
property.
Isn't that why some people like live in boathouses so they can avoid the property tax?
Yeah, they got to deal with maritime law then, though.
Ooh.
Got to be careful. Got to fly a flag with a little frilly around the outside. It's funny you say that, during the height of the pandemic, like early summer last year, I started thinking like, why don't I just sell my house and buy an RV?
Right.
Like,
I think a lot of people thought that this
yeah,
year.
I was like, if I have like a 5G cell phone coverage or like, at the time, like if like some kind of satellite internet like Starlink's up and running, it's like theoretically, if you have good enough signal and coverage, it doesn't matter where you are. You can just like just drive around and be like, oh, got to pull over and work for an hour or two. Mm-hmm. You know.
But there's still stuff you have to maintain, like the toilet situation, the water situation.
Trust me, I looked all into the toilet situation.
I think it's the first place the mind goes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
How do we
thought
handle
you
that?
hate RVs after you lived in one on your front lawn for a while.
Well, living in the front lawn is very different than driving around and seeing, because we're kind of
But
travel
you should
starved.
watch their video about the Earthroamer.
I'll
It's
look
just
at it.
fascinating.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about this Earthroamer, probably because it's expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
Although isn't Starlink locked to where you get it? Can you just take that dish wherever? I think it's just like, I thought it was regional.
Yeah, I think right now it's locked to location. I don't know if that's going to change once they go wide.
How does Japan sort out the pocket Wi-Fi situation then?
What do you mean?
Well, because you can take pocket Wi-Fi in Japan all over the country. Like we bought our little pocket device.
Yeah.
What
in
is
Tokyo.
pocket Wi-Fi?
It connects to like a cell service,
It's
like
exactly
LTE
what you think it is, just like Wi-Fi that you
or 5G,
have on you, right?
and creates a hotspot.
Okay, so it is just hotspotting then.
Yeah.
So it's effectively like a phone that just
Yeah, it's got a SIM card in it.
Well, I guess it's just because the internet there is so much faster than it is here. It just felt like normal Wi-Fi. But curious.
And I think like the good 5G speeds are like on par with like a home internet connection, aren't they?
Yeah.
Capable.
So is it? Do we have like a pocket Wi-Fi type thing, like a hotspot creator
You
here?
can get them here, yeah.
Yeah.
We used to use one back at the Congress office
Oh, wow.
for a while. Back, it was 3G back then. Like it was.
I mean, you can tether
Real
to a
shitty.
phone
Yeah.
with other devices.
I think nowadays it's just like a phone. But if you don't have, like, I think if you're traveling internationally, like if someone came over with their, international SIM and they didn't want to connect to use international roaming data, you rent one of those hotspots and use that. Just probably like what you do in Japan. Same
yeah.
thing. You just pay for that little thing.
Japan.
Wow.
I want to go there so bad.
We were going to go. It was going to be my second time. I was going to go with Cole and Blaine and a few others. Carrie.
yeah,
and
that whole group
Mel
trip.
Jam, yeah. And it was literally the month that everything shut down.
You were supposed to go like end of March, right?
End of March.
Yeah, I remember there was discussion because it was still like when people were figuring out what the hell's going on. And I remember that group was like, we might still go. Like, and then a couple days happened and then it's like, yeah, no, we're not going.
Yeah, we
You
had
might
to,
have been trapped there for a while.
Well, that was the problem that I had. I got on the phone with undisclosed airline and I was like, hey, I need to cancel my flights. And they're like, well, then we're not going to give you a refund. I'm like, listen, are you going to pay for my extended stay there if I get trapped in this foreign country? And they're like, why would we do that? And I'm like, because you're not giving me a refund. I'm not going to fly there.
Yeah.
That's
all bullshit. Did you ever get that sorted out?
I did. Immediately, like a week later when things got real serious, they're like, hey, Mr. Coquinos, we're sorry about the inconvenience. We're going to go ahead and just give you, your money for the flights or whatever. It's just like, I mean, the writing was on the wall. I mean, it was...
It's wild what I don't know. I feel like it was wild what an unknown it was. Like what scary waters we were in at the time. Like we weren't sure like how long it was going to be. I talk about it all the time after we did that last podcast in the studio before the quarantine and everything. Like we walked out. I talked to Gabby. I was like, yeah, we'll be back in a couple of months. We'll be back by July. It'll be fine.
I think we all thought we'd be back by the summer.
Yeah. It's
Oops.
It's wild. Like for me, I think my biggest concern was that they were kind of already handling or trying to handle the stuff out there, right? Because they had that cruise ship that had like the breakout, and they had a bunch of shit they were
Forgot
dealing
about
with.
that.
Yeah, and that was like a huge deal. And so I'm like, you know, we're not going to go on a cruise in Japan, but they sound like they've got some shit to sort out. So
Still do.
A cruise in Japan will be awesome.
I mean, it would be. We were going to go. Well, I would say but we were going to go see My Chemical Romance.
I heard,
out there,
yeah. God,
which would have been wild.
that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like appropriate to talk about on the podcast, but I feel that I would be remiss if I didn't. But are you guys following or have heard anything about this Gabby Petito case?
I feel like I only heard about it yesterday for the first time, and I felt like I had apparently missed this or something. Like it had been a big thing in the news for a while.
Yeah.
Meg was telling me, she was like, this thing's blowing up on TikTok. This is insane. This should be a movie.
Yeah, it's insane because it was essentially like ongoing, and people on social media were working towards like breaking down clues and looking at their Instagrams and trying to find out what happened. But basically, I'm sure everyone on the internet has heard something about it at this point. But there was this couple, Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, who I think they were engaged, were traveling across country in their van.
650 grand?
Not a 650 grand van. And they were like documenting along the way, making YouTube videos and posting on Instagram and blah, blah, blah. And then he returned with the van without Gabby on September 1st and immediately hired a lawyer and wouldn't talk to anybody. And then I think September 11th is when her parents reported her missing because they didn't know where she was. Unfortunately, they did just find her.
Did they confirm it?
I think it's all but confirmed.
Yeah, because they were like potential.
I think all they've said is like a body that matches the description, and
Yeah. They still have to go
they've
through the-
indicated most likely yes, but maybe not 100%
Yeah.
declared it.
But there's just like, it's an insane story and it's really tragic. And, but it's really crazy to watch people uncover like things about the case that they helped the FBI with in turn. So like there was a couple on YouTube who just happened to be documenting their like driving down a road on August 27th in the Teton area. And they see a van on the left side that they just drive by. But in the footage, you could see it's their van. And you could see Gabby's flip-flop on the ground. People think that they see a man in the background digging. Like, there's all this shit.
Whoa.
But that area is where they found her remains.
Whoa.
And so it's like, if those YouTubers didn't have that footage and no one found it and they didn't post it.
That's the modern world, is that once police have checked security footage for various crimes, like little security cameras, they'll probably just be like, hey, was anyone vlogging around here?
Yeah.
And I bet some people were.
But it's wild to me that out of all the places you could be, these people who happen to be YouTubers, who happen to be filming, were in that area that she happened to be buried, or where her remains were. I don't know what the state of them were, but it's fucked up. And now this guy, Brian, is also missing, quote unquote. He hiding. I would say.
They just like, I think they just like went to either his parents' house or something like that. That was like today, I think.
Yeah, I think the FBI came to his parents' house, but
With a warrant and everything.
they've been refusing to speak about the matter. Brian obviously wasn't speaking about it and then I guess fled, and who knows what's happened to him or what he's going to do. But also, like, they don't have any answers yet of like cause of death or, I mean, in my mind, it's obviously him. I don't know how, it couldn't be.
It's what it sounds like, at least.
It's such a crazy situation.
Yeah, it's hard to know. Like we can speculate based on the information we have. I'm just always really hesitant and scared about like mob mentality and like analyzing clues, just because I remember like it gets so wrong. People on the internet get it so wrong so many times. Like when the Boston Marathon bombings happened, like the internet mob went after people who were not involved at all. It's like,
Yeah, it could get really dangerous. Well, I was worried that people would go out there and try to search the areas themselves, or like people would be, I think there was a story of this girl who was pretending to be Gabby on social media and posting like, hey guys, I'm okay. I just needed like once more people know about these situations, they get involved and it gets really fucked up. So again, there's like good things about it, like these people having this footage, and bad things about it.
Yeah.
Like mob mentality and people just getting involved in things that really should not be tampered with.
Yeah, or like not having all the information. It's it's, I understand like people want to get involved and feel like they're doing something or being proactive, but it's a really tricky time.
Yeah.
To try to figure all that stuff out. Like not only just like you talk about vloggers driving around filming stuff, but even like dash cams or Tesla's film
People's
everything
Nest
all
cameras.
the time as they're driving around. Yeah, Nest cameras. There's cameras everywhere. I'm watching a fucking raccoon, or not a raccoon. I'm watching a fucking possum eating a bird in my backyard. Like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
The government know everything.
The government.
Yeah,
There it is. I'm full circle.
Yeah. The government knows everything. Is that the title of this podcast?
Got it written down.
What does the government know about you?
Everything.
Who is this? Dreams and Weirdness in chat says, vlog today, you could save a life.
It's true.
Beautiful.
But it got to the point where, I mean, as everyone knows, I love TikTok. I watch TikTok all the time. My TikTok feed, every second video were people talking about the Gabby Petito case.
Do you think that has something to do with like the algorithm, or is that just like
Definitely. I think I liked a video or two about it, and I was like Googling about the story. And so, yeah, probably just
Seems
hit
like
my
it'll be
algorithm.
all that will be cut into a great video at some point.
I think it's
Just like a
definitely going to be a
summary.
documentary of
Yeah.
some sort.
Oh yeah, I'm like Netflix will probably already have picked up the rights to that one.
Absolutely. It's crazy. It's such a crazy case.
I've
Who
been
did you get the rights from?
probably the family.
The family?
Yeah, I would guess so. They probably pay the
Do
family.
you need to?
It's just news, right?
Right.
Well, I guess if it's
I don't know if anyone owns the rights to that.
That's a good question.
I mean, I'm not a
they have to-
lawyer. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what they should do. I'm just
but,
asking.
Like, they're
theoretically.
going to be like talking about those specific people. Like if you were going to reference an actual person, you have to have rights to use that person's like likeness or what have you, right?
Unless you license the footage from like news sources.
Oh shit.
There's also another crazy part about the story, which I think they already said is unrelated to the Gabby Petito case, but there's a couple, 2 women that were found dead in an area that Gabby and Brian happened to be in. I think they got pulled over for a domestic dispute. There's like dash cam footage of all this happening with Gabby and Brian right outside the shop where these women worked, or one of the women worked.
Wow.
And so there's like conspiracy theories of like one of the women called the police on them and this guy Brian was pissed and like went back and murdered them or something like that. I don't know if I believe that part of it, but it's like, it's just weird that happened around this exact time.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. I heard about that. That was a couple of weeks ago. Must have been around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this all went down between like middle of August to early September. It's like the time frame of this whole.
So it's been about a month at this point.
Yeah.
Dark.
Very
Yeah,
dark.
right?
Very dark.
I wonder where that'll go.
We'll find out. We'll be looking back on this podcast in a few weeks or a few months. Be like,
Reflecting.
oh, remember when we talked about that and we didn't know anything?
There's some really fucked up shit. Like there was a text that Gabby supposedly sent her family on August 30th that just said no service in Yosemite, but she was probably already dead at that point in time. So it means whoever had her phone was texting her parents pretending to be her. It's like so fucked up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nuh-uh.
Speaking of
It's no good.
crime documentaries, there was or potential crime documentaries. There was an update on the Jinx.
Yes.
Robert Durst.
Have you seen the Jinx?
No.
It's a great documentary. It came out
Well, spoiler
like
alert.
4 or 5 years ago now on HBO. Robert Durst was found guilty of murdering his friend.
And is that based off the documentary's evidence that
I don't know if
he
it's
basically had an admission at the end of the documentary?
Yeah, I don't know if that played a part into it or what reopened that investigation, but
The burping.
yeah, it's it was weird to see that pop up again because that was like such a
Because he got away with
great
it first.
documentary for it was like 20 years ago.
The jury said he was not guilty.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's a great documentary. I think it's only like a
It's-
6-part series.
I think it's only 4
Is it
episodes.
4?
That's a little bit easier since my stepmom and I we binged all of Making a Murderer.
Oh,
and-
you would love the Jinx.
Yeah, the
then.
Jinx is. I think it's like 4 or 6, but it's just one of those ones where it's like you learn about these people involved, and then at the end of the episode, it's like, but then this, and you're like, wait, what? And then it just gets crazier and crazier
Jesus.
to the point where it's like this sounds like fiction.
That stuff is like so hard to watch, right? Because like for me, my brain just takes those theories and just runs off with them forever, and I'm just like,
Yep.
but what if? But
Yeah, someone
what
in chat was
if?
like, "Oh, don't get too wrapped up in conspiracies," and I agree. It's a dangerous road to go down, but
Yeah.
it's still, I don't know, like people talking about these things. It's still interesting to me. True crime is just a fascinating avenue.
Well, it's interesting. Like once all these things are wrapped up to like see the whole story
Yeah.
for the first time, but when it's stuff where it's like you were finding out at the time it was happening, it's always like a different angle of it.
Well, that's
It,
why
like,
this
feels
shit is
different.
wild. It was happening in real time on social media of people being
Yeah.
like, they're at their house now, and like, oh, like the FBI is talking to this person. Oh, and now this person's missing, and now it was just crazy.
On a somewhat lighter note, I saw someone I'm talking about I saved this footage. I should have brought it. It's still in my car. I saw someone do something so fucking dumb the other day, right down the road over here.
In their car.
Yeah, in their car.
Uh-oh.
There's a railroad crossing not too far from here, and I always see people when I drive by there frequently when I go to and from the studio, and I always see people like stop on the railroad tracks, and usually it's okay, you know, the train doesn't run that often.
Oh no.
But I saw someone the other day stop on the railroad tracks. Well, actually, wait, I take it back. So someone stopped short of the railroad tracks. The signal started going off. The arms came down. Then no train passed by. Then the arms went back up. So then the person went up and then stopped on the railroad tracks. And then the lights went off and the arms came down again. And the train was coming this time.
Why'd they stop?
Because like where the light was, that's where they had to stop. Like they shouldn't have.
You're not meant to.
They shouldn't have gone up.
Yeah.
They were stopped in the correct place before. Then they moved up to a place where they had nowhere else
they
to
were
go.
trapped
They were
between
blocked
them.
in by a car.
Holy shit.
The thing, the both arms came down like around them, and they're like honking at the car in front of them. The car in front of them is not moving. I don't know if they don't know what's going on or what. And then the train's coming, and the train would have hit them, but like the train stops in time, and the train's just sitting there, and the train just lays into its horn, like honking at the guy who stopped on the tracks. And then eventually, like he like scoots up, and like you see like the arm was on the top of his car, just like banging on it as he like pulled out and got out of the way. And the train just stopped there for like, even after the guy cleared the tracks, the train was still stopped there for like 30 seconds, just laying into the horn. And then it just like slowly starts moving again.
I know that exact intersection you're talking about, and it's so poorly designed because if you're waiting to turn at that light, there's only like room for one car right there. Otherwise, you have to stay behind the tracks.
Right. So that's behind the tracks, and there's a spot that says keep clear. So you have to stop even further back from that.
But people don't always pay attention to that.
Right.
Shit.
Is this
or
that
like
airport by the In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah, right by there.
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking
There's a
about.
weird like lack of fear for those railroad. Like,
Oh, I'm terrified of them. I'm like,
Yeah, I've seen
unless
enough.
it's a green arrow for me to turn right now, I'm going to wait way behind the
Yeah.
track.
Like,
Do
people
not
treat
stop
them-
on the tracks.
Just don't.
People treat them like red sometimes, where it's like, I'm gonna make it. Like you've seen footage of people where the things come down, they'll just go like, "Wee," they'll just weave
Yeah.
through it. It's like, I'll make it. It's like, this is just a train. It's a massive, heavy train.
It can't stop. Like, I mean, it can, but it can't stop quickly. The guy in front of me that I saw like lucked out that the train, I guess, must have anticipated this or saw them from a long way away.
I
'cause
almost did something
it
really
did stop.
stupid at that exact intersection. I was turning, this was a long time ago. I was turning left onto that intersection, like onto that street. And I was behind a bus. And I forgot that buses have to stop at railroad tracks for like a certain amount of time, even if it's completely clear.
Right, they have to look.
They have to look and then they go. It's just like all buses have to do that. I think other vehicles might have to as well. But it was an intersection where the lights were green and you're turning left on a green light, so there's cars coming the other direction. And the bus went and I was like, oh, there's enough time before the other car comes. And like the bus is going and it stops. And I'm like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. I'm in the intersection. And like luckily it just went and I had time to clear. But like I was this close to getting hit by another car because I was dumb.
We were going to pick up Ben Ernst the other day, and he lives in a neighborhood that's like there's no light at the intersection outside of his neighborhood, and it's right along the road. It's like 50 miles an hour
Busy road,
street,
yeah.
super busy, and it's like 3 lanes on both sides, big median. So we get to go to turn left, and we stop at the arrow. You know, some people will pull like further ahead and then pull out in case cars come out of the neighborhood or whatever. So we're sitting there at the arrow, and this little Miata comes out. It's brand new looking Mazda Miata, comes out of the neighborhood, and they see us stop, and they're just watching us, I guess, but they're not watching the oncoming traffic this way. And so I just got a newer car, and I'm like sitting in there waiting our turn, and the Miata's like, well, okay, cool, no one's coming. Pulls out by just a little bit. 3 cars coming this way. One of them just bam, like T-bones the shit out of it. And I kid you not, it like passed by my car by inches. And I was just like, no. Like Shia LaBeouf in every freaking Transformers movie. It was like,
Great reference.
it was so scary. But I felt so bad for the people in the cars because like,
Is everyone okay?
yeah, everyone was all right. But I don't want to assume, the one lady who was coming down, just driving normally or whatever, I ran over to her car to like open the door because it was smoking. There was like liquids dripping. And I opened it. She was crying. She's screaming. And I'm like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "My baby, my baby." And I'm like, she had a kid in the back, and he was screaming. I'm like, "He looks like he's okay." She's like, "No, I'm pregnant." And I'm like,
Oh my
all of her
God.
airbags went off and everything. And I'm like, "Ooh, this would be a bad time."
Fuck you.
I
Be
felt so
careful on
bad
the
for her.
roads.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch any of the videos on the Idiots in Cars subreddit?
Oh no, I don't think my heart could take that.
Yeah, I feel like that's like there's so many videos like that. I saw one the other day where it was taken from the perspective of someone who's facing in one direction, they're at a red light, and coming in the other direction are 2 vehicles also at a red light. One of them starts inching forward and then turns right on red, like they can, and the car that's facing them, I guess, doesn't look at the light but sees that the car next to them went. So they just start going and run a red light, and they get into the intersection to get T-boned, and their car, it looks fake in the way that their car like gets hit, absorbs the impact, and then rolls like over upside down. It's like, it just like all that momentum, you see it like starts slowly moving, and then it reaches that tipping point where it can't stop anymore, and then boom, it's like the car's upside down. It's like it's so weird watching you see vehicles every day in your life.
Yeah.
And, you're used to them operating in one way, being one side up. And then when you see it like in a position that you're not used to seeing it in, it's like, that does, my brain's like, that doesn't look right. That looks fake, that a car would be turning in a motion like that.
Jeez.
It's amazing how easily a car can just suddenly be on its roof. Like, I saw an accident once where there was like, they're both cars going in the same direction, and one of them just like hit into the one beside it. But I guess it like nudged the wheel high enough where the wheel just like drove up the side.
Yeah.
And it just went whoop. And it was like, they were going like 20 miles an hour. Now
I
this
saw
car's
the
upside
exact
down.
video, yeah. Did you ever see? It was like not a real video, obviously, but it was a simulation of what it would be like if you took a car and pushed it and it flipped in the various types of gravity that exist in the universe. So like Mars gravity,
No,
the
I ain't
moon's
seen that.
gravity. And it's really funny. I think it like Pluto's, it just like goes and then it's just like crushed all of a sudden or something like that. I'd have to find the video of it. It's really cool.
I never heard of that. Sounds interesting.
Trevor was showing it to me. I'll ask if he has it.
What, crush from the gravity of...
The planet?
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be Pluto then.
Maybe not Pluto.
Maybe like
Jupiter?
Jupiter.
I think it was Jupiter, yeah.
We're getting close to time, and I feel compelled. I need to mention something before we wrap up. If you missed it, we launched an RSS feed for first members last week. If you're watching this live, obviously you're a first member, so that they can get access to audio podcasts 24 hours before the general public. So that's just one of the. I don't want to say new. It's one. I guess it is a new feature. It's a new feature for first members. So you should have received an email about it. About how you can go through and gain access to it. It's a super cool feature. If you want to learn more, go to roosterteeth.com/first. You can sign up for a free trial. I think it's like a 7-day free trial, and check it out for yourself. It integrates directly into a lot of podcast apps, so you probably just like copy it, paste it, you're done. Get the podcast 24 hours.
No ads.
No ads. That's ad-free RSS feed.
Is there a way to get it without the email? Is there anywhere on the site?
There's a URL you have to visit. I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is?
I'll try to put it in the description.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description. In the email, there's a URL you have to go to, and you just go to that URL. You put in your email address, it sends you a link. It's this whole thing, but it's real easy. You just have to know what your email address is and go to that link.
I feel like you got flustered there for no reason.
It's just I started thinking about all that went into it, and it's like a lot to wrap my head around, and so I'm just trying to get the information out there. So anyway, ad-free, 24 hours early. You're welcome.
And speaking of
Not
first
you are.
members,
Thank
too, they could also watch a new show.
Oh.
Last Laugh.
Yeah, I was like, is it Last Laugh? Yeah. Last Laugh Season 2. New episode this Thursday. What do we have 2 episodes out currently?
2 episodes out so far.
Yeah.
1 coming out Thursday, and then I don't know how many there are total, so I don't want to say something and be wrong.
Yeah. If you're not a first member, first episode is available for free on YouTube. After that, all the episodes are first exclusive. Again, you can sign up for a 7-day free trial at roosterteeth.com/first. Learn all about it and watch it. It was a lot of fun to film the second season. I feel like we made a lot of improvements between season 1 and season 2, and it wasn't as mentally taxing the second. Maybe I was more prepared the second time around.
I think, yeah, it's probably a lot to do with it.
Yeah, it didn't fuck me up like it did the first one.
Seems like this season there's a more aggression, less defense.
Yeah, it was definitely
because of certain rule changes.
Yeah. The rules were definitely changed to encourage engagement.
Encourage you to be on the offense so that if you make other people laugh, you could gain a life. And if you act too like wallflower-ish, you could lose a life. So if people are just like not engaging and just sitting there or like just not doing anything.
Did that happen?
I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, good point. Don't spoil it.
Just tell me without...
There's a camera right there.
There are cameras literally everywhere.
So we'll pop into Gavin's Deathloop game. What do you least expect?
The best thing about that game, by the way, the melee attack is just booting them. You just kick them up the arse and they go off cliffs.
That's amazing.
It's so satisfying.
Now I want to see that.
Play Deathloop.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it.
Good luck to Chris
Thank
at
you.
your new job.
Thank you.
We'll miss you.
I'm gonna miss everybody so much. I did a good job. I didn't cry once during the podcast.
You turned in your
today.
key card already?
No.
Okay. Make sure.
As
Don't let
we
him get out of here.
go on.
Security, it's fine.
We got security. He's gonna be escorted out.
Well, we still got the post show.
Oh, all right, that's right. We'll get security on. We'll have him,
Yeah, he's also a Chris. He can take my place.
We'll
He'll
make
bring
sure-
your box of stuff.
Make sure
You'll never know.
you're not taking any like staples or anything with you.
No,
Like all the extra office
I won't take a
supplies.
staple, but I'll take a stapler if you've got one.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys again next week.
Like,
Bye.
Bye.